Ethan Gray was a chemistry teacher in a quiet desert town. His life was ordinary: lectures, grading papers, and endless bills. But behind the calm exterior, a storm was brewing. Ethan had always been careful, methodical, and loyal. But when a shocking diagnosis hit him, a terminal illness that left him with only months to live, everything changed. Suddenly, the world seemed unfair, cruel, and full of unfinished dreams. Ethan had a family: his wife, Laura, a nurse, and their teenage son, Max. They had struggled financially for years, barely scraping by. The diagnosis filled Ethan with desperation. He wanted to leave them with security, even if it meant breaking every rule he had lived by. One evening, while grading papers, Ethan met Marcus Kane, a former student who had fallen into the wrong crowd. Marcus hinted at a job that could earn more in a week than Ethan had ever seen in a year. At first, Ethan refused. His mind raced through moral lines, consequences, and risks. But as the bills piled up and visions of his family struggling haunted him, a dangerous idea took root. Chemistry could be more than teaching. It could be a tool, a weapon, a way to survive. Ethan set up a hidden lab in an abandoned warehouse on the outskirts of town. He mixed, measured, and tested formulas with the precision of a surgeon. The product was flawless, the purest and most potent anyone had ever seen. But with it came danger. He partnered reluctantly with Marcus, who knew the streets, the buyers, the rules. Marcus called him Professor Gray, half in awe, half in fear. But Marcus underestimated Ethan. The teacher wasn't just clever in formulas, he was cunning in strategy, anticipating every move, every betrayal. Soon, Ethan's product became infamous. The town whispered about the mysterious chemist whose blue powder seemed unstoppable. Ethan lived a double life. By day, a loving father and teacher. By night, the mastermind behind a rising empire. Laura noticed changes. Ethan grew distant, secretive, and tired. One night, she followed him and found the warehouse. Shock and betrayal filled her eyes. "Ethan, what are you doing?" she asked, voice trembling. Ethan's heart ached. He wanted to protect her, shield her from danger, but the money, the security, the legacy, it all depended on him staying in control. He confessed his plan: to secure their future. Laura couldn't understand, yet fear and love mingled in her gaze. Meanwhile, rival dealers grew suspicious. Victor Hale, a ruthless local crime boss, noticed the surge of blue product on the streets. He traced it, demanded meetings, and issued threats. Ethan realized he wasn't just cooking chemistry anymore. He was playing a dangerous game of survival, and every move could be fatal. One night, a tense confrontation erupted. Ethan had to use his wits to outsmart Victor's men without violence, relying on chemistry tricks, alarms, and smoke to create distractions. Marcus helped, but tension grew. Marcus wanted more control, more profit, and was slowly losing respect for Ethan. Ethan taught Max some chemistry tricks at home, careful to shield him from the darkness. But Max, bright and curious, noticed the changes in his father. Suspicion and worry grew, yet Ethan had no time to explain. Every second mattered, every formula counted. A critical shipment went wrong. Ethan's calculated risks nearly destroyed everything. Marcus panicked, threatening to expose Ethan. In a harrowing scene, Ethan used logic, intimidation, and foresight to regain control, proving that knowledge and calm could outmatch brute force. Weeks passed. Ethan became a legend in his own right, but every success brought fear. He knew the walls were closing in, Victor wouldn't forgive, law enforcement might discover the truth, and every choice had consequences. Then, the unthinkable happened. A fire broke out in the warehouse. Ethan barely escaped with critical formulas and some cash. Marcus disappeared, leaving Ethan to confront the ruins alone. In the aftermath, Ethan made a decision. He destroyed the remaining formulas, hid the evidence, and walked away. He returned home, exhausted, wary, but determined to repair the fragile relationships left. Laura and Max noticed the change. Ethan admitted nothing about the danger, only that he had solved their financial worries. But the lessons lingered. Intelligence, courage, and the price of choices are all intertwined. Ethan never returned to chemistry in the criminal sense, but he always remembered. One spark of knowledge, used wisely, could light the way. One mistake, and it could burn everything down. In the quiet desert town, the legend of Ethan Gray lived on, not just as a chemist, but as a man who dared to step into the shadows for the ones he loved, and survived.